Hello, Ilan.
Hi.
This is Ilan Fathi, and I'm Misha Hadar. I'm interviewing Ilan because he's part of an organization called Shovrim Shtika, Breaking the Silence. I think we'll start, just tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about what you do now, and then with time we'll go into more detail.
So I'm Ilan, I'm 27. I served the Israeli military as a combatant, as a machine gunner in the 50th Brigade of the Nachar between the years 2001-2004. I joined the Israeli military just like any other Israeli kid, 18-year-old. Well, actually I joined the military as a 19-year-old kid because I went volunteering for a year of civil service, but recruitment is mandatory in Israel, so we all join the military when we are 18 years old or 19 years old. I served all over the West Bank, pretty much all over the West Bank, between the years 2001-2004, but most of my service, almost a whole year, I was posted in Hebron, in the city center of Hebron, where the Israeli settlements are built, right in the middle of the city.
Okay, and what do you do now?
I now an active member in Breaking the Silence. I'm in charge of the educational project in Breaking the Silence. Maybe I should say a few words about what we are and what we do. Breaking the Silence is an organization that brings together ex-combatants who served the Israeli military from the Second Intifada, October 2000 and on. And gives them a space to tell the Israeli society what they went through when they were serving in the West Bank, in order to show the Israeli society what is the price we pay for the occupation, for staying in the West Bank. What does a combatant do when he serves the West Bank? What are the routine, patrols, arrests, stuff that the combatant does when he serves in the West Bank? What are the mechanisms of the occupation? How does the whole thing work? And we believe that they're the ones who know how this reality works the best are the combatants who do those things, who occupy, who conduct the arrests, who patrol the streets, who arrest the people, who search the houses, who stand in checkpoints, who shoot at demonstrations. We believe that we're the ones who know better than everyone else how does the whole thing work, and we want to show the Israeli society what really happens in the West Bank. Maybe I'll start with a short story of what I went through on my first day. I mean, I can probably tell stories forever, but maybe we'll start with my first day in the West Bank. As I said before, recruitment is mandatory in Israel. You have to join the military when you're 18 years old, and I joined when I was 19 because I went volunteering for a year of civil service before that, before my recruitment. And on that year of civil service, I was teaching in high schools. I was participating in different environmental programs and teaching kids in high schools and about recycling and stuff like that, and global warming. And on my first mission, on my first day in Hebron, I was a machine gunner, as I said before, and I was part of 4 soldiers, a patrol team. And on my first morning in Hebron, the first mission I got was to start curfew on a high school. It wasn't a high school; it was a mandatory school, like a primary school. Mm-hmm. So we drive the jeep, and I have no idea where I am. I've never been to the West Bank before that. I have no idea where. I don't really know what a curfew is. And then the jeep doors, the bulletproof jeep doors open, and I see a front gate of a Palestinian primary school for boys. Now they're all standing there with their their school clothes, and some are playing soccer and some are fighting each other, and schoolyard. And then next thing I know is that the commander of my brigade starts throwing tear gas grenades into the schoolyard, and I'm thinking, what? Why? I mean, what's the connection between starting curfewing, I couldn't even understand technically, not even talking about the moral issue, but I just couldn't understand technically what good will come of that. Why? So we started throwing tear gas grenades. It was our first day posted in my brigade was posted in Hebron. He started throwing tear gas grenades and stunt grenades. You know what stunt grenades are? The stunt grenades is it's a grenade that doesn't kill, just goes off, makes a huge boom, scares everyone off. So he starts throwing them into the schoolyard, and he started shouting at us to start shooting tear gas grenades and rubber bullets into the schoolyard too.
And you had no idea why? Why you were putting curfew on the school?
I knew that every day curfew starts at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
It was my first day in Hebron, so I still didn't realize the whole, the whole mechanism, the whole thing. But I couldn't do neither of those because I was a machine gunner. So I couldn't shoot. I didn't have the weapon for that. I couldn't shoot tear gas grenades, and I couldn't shoot rubber bullets.
Yes.
The only thing I could do was shooting
So
live
why
rounds.
Why
and
do
many
you
of them.
bring a machine gunner to a school?
Because you're on a patrol. It's just part of.
It's, okay, it's just
on
part
patrol.
of being control. It's not because a machine gun was going to be used. Then.
No.
No. Okay.
So he shouts at me because I'm useless at that situation. And there's a hatch at the bulletproof jeep. So he shouts at me to go up there and stand with my machine gun and cover, the whole area in case someone starts shooting at us.
Okay.
So I'm standing there, and they're like, throwing tons of tear gas and stun grenades and rubber bullets into the schoolyard. You can really see kids like suffocating. And the only thing I can do is shoot live rounds, and my legs are shaking because I'm thinking, is he gonna ask me to shoot live rounds into those kids? And thank God he didn't. And when the whole thing was over, like 10 minutes later, the kids obviously start throwing rocks back at us, and we react with more tear gas, and they throw more rocks. Obviously, I mean, I guess that if I was 15 years old and someone would throw a tear gas grenade into my schoolyard, I'll definitely throw rocks at him. So 10 minutes later, the whole thing is over. There's no one in the schoolyard, and I'm just sitting there in the back of the jeep, and I'm thinking, how the hell can that work? I mean, how can closing the front entrance of a school while throwing tear gas grenades into it can ever work? Why can't we start curfew at 1 o'clock when kids are done with school anyway, and not at 12 o'clock? And do the whole thing less violent.
So questions arose for you already from the first day?
Yeah, but it took me a very long time till I realized what we actually do there.
Okay.
Coming from a right-wing family, being a combatant, you don't really give yourself time. You don't really allow yourself to ask those questions. It took me a long time to wake up and understand what we're doing there. This is why we started bringing the silence, exactly because of cases as such. But
Okay.
we understood that something doesn't fit.
So maybe this should be the next question is, so you're going through your service and you're doing these things, some question arise, you don't always allow yourself to ask the questions, but then they start leveling up and they amount. How does this kind of political, awakening happen? How did it happen for you? What happened?